The Honey Badger verse of the day today is a gem of a verse. And what's most amazing about this verse is it was written while Paul was in prison, and it's part of the prison epistles. And it's 1 Timothy 6:17-18. Command those who are rich in this present life not to become arrogant or put their hope in wealth, which is so uncertain, but to put their hope in God, who richly provides everything for our enjoyment. Command them to do good, to have good deeds, to be generous and willing to share. And we see that Paul says, wealth is so uncertain. You can invest in a stock and tomorrow the stock may become worthless. Or you could have a $20 bill today and tomorrow with inflation, you may not even be able to get a McDLT or hamburger. But the wealth of God, the favor of God, it's for everything enjoyment. And Paul said this while in prison. Paul realized that in all circumstances he can have joy, Philippians 4:11. And the joy of the Lord, it's our strength. And the joy Paul talks about in trusting God, it's this, knowing that whether rich or poor, whether in health or in sickness, that Jesus is with us. And that if Jesus is with us, he'll get us through that situation. Proverbs 13:7 says, one man pretends to be rich, but has nothing. Another man pretends to be poor, but has great wealth. And the man who pretends to be rich, he's using his wealth to influence people. He's using his wealth to show off what he has. But the man who pretends to be poor trusts in God. He finds his joy in God, and as you delight yourself in the Lord, he changes your desires to his desires. So you can find peace. You can find joy in any circumstances, even like Paul in prison. And Jesus tells us how to do this. And Luke's gospel, he looks at the outcast, he looks at the widow, he looks at the marginalized people. And Jesus says this, Luke 16:9, use worldly wealth to gain friends for yourself, so when it's gone, you may be welcomed in the eternal kingdom. And worldly wealth there, it's actually dirty money. And it's a Asian word for the wealth of the world. And we use wealth by helping the widow, helping the poor. And I want you in the comments below to share some ways you can use the blessing of God that he has given into your life to help people. Maybe it's missions. Maybe it's seeing the homeless and giving them food. And God's blessing is upon us, and as we follow him, he makes our desires his desires, and he gives us a desire to help those who are in need.